Good afternoon, First Presbyterian Church and friends. I hope this Wednesday finds you well. This past Sunday, we stepped into our Advent journey and began preparing our hearts for the birth of Jesus. I have to admit that this is one of my most favorite seasons in the church, but also one of the most challenging. The season is full of extra things on the calendar. Pageants to prepare for, parties to enjoy, time to balance between family and friends. And that's just all the feel-good stuff. The reality is that this time of year can be difficult. For some, families and other relationships can be painful. The celebrations might make us acutely aware of those that we miss. Pinterest and social media can make us feel inadequate, and calendars overflow. There's also that ever louder voice of consumerism, the constant barrage of go, go, go messages. What I love so dearly about the season of Advent is that it is a countercultural message to that buy more, spend more, do more message. Instead, Advent offers us the invitation to wait, watch, and listen. The waiting piece of Advent is such an important way to recharge our batteries and to reconnect to our family, our friends, and our faith. I was reading an article the other week that the time when we spend waiting, whether in traffic or waiting rooms or in meetings, that time is a crucial time for our brains. If we can push away the urge to fill that time, to check our watch or to scroll through our phone or Facebook, then our brains have time to do some important reconnection work. And it's when some of our best and creative thinking can happen. It's like how you can't force an epiphany. They just come to you. Waiting can be a creative gift. Waiting invites us to see things in new ways. Waiting, if we give it time, almost always has something to reveal. One of my most favorite creative experiences that I've gotten to share in is painting icons. Icons are religious works of art, most often paintings, and they are sacred images used for religious devotion. You've probably seen one before. Often they depict Mary holding baby Jesus, or they show an image of Christ, and they often have important symbols or gestures that help teach about the person or saint that they depict. While we don't regularly use icons in our faith tradition, icons can offer a meaningful way to pray in a new way or to express or deepen one's faith. Icons have been around for hundreds and hundreds of years, some even dating back to the 3rd century. And there's a very specific process and intentionality for what makes an image an icon. When I went to my first icon painting conference, they have those, I was hooked. The week was spent mostly in silence, and we began each morning with worship and communion together. With great fear and trepidation, I had this blank slate before me, with no idea how in the world I could ever join this sacred tradition of painting and somehow create an image of Christ with authenticity and reverence. Turns out, icon workshops have some great teachers. And before I knew it, an image of Jesus stared back at me as I worked, formed from colors, lines, shapes, dark shadows, and light. It was a powerful experience as we were invited, as we worked, to reflect on Scripture and the nature of Christ, who Jesus was to us. The method of painting an icon was such a unique process, unlike anything that I had ever done, and it became for me one of the most beautiful metaphors for journeying through the Advent season. Envision this with me. When painting an icon, you work in areas beginning with your darkest and deepest colors and tones and your broadest forms. You build the shadows, adding depth and darkness, and then slowly adding the lighter colors, layering them one upon the other. The whole time you've been staring at what feels like these strange shadowy shapes, and then boom, all of a sudden there's a face looking back at you, as if it stepped right out from the shadows. As the long-awaited figure or image is revealed, the final step is adding the gold leaf, which brings the whole icon to illuminated life, capturing and reflecting the glow of light. On Sunday, we lit the first candle of the Advent wreath, setting us off on our Advent journey from darkness into light. Like the painting of an icon, we are invited to watch and wait for the light to be revealed, for Emmanuel, God, to be with us. In the days and weeks ahead, I pray that you find time to seek and create again the joyful hope of what the Advent season brings, and to anticipate the light of Christ that is shared with all of us. As we see that light build as each candle is lit each week, as you linger in this season of holy waiting, may you be led by light. Peace, friends.